Hi everyone, Sheree here. Today I'm going to be creating a scrapbook layout in the 8.5 by 11 size using these new stamps from Technique Tuesday. I'm a guest over there this month, which is a lot of fun. This stamp set is called the Laugh and Smile stamp set, and as you can see there are lots and lots of different phrases on here that will suit so many different photos. So there's the word laugh in a few different fonts. There's also smile down here in 3 different fonts as well, and then there's all these other little sayings that say things like this made me, I love your, life is better when you, here is a reason to, thanks for making me, start each day with a smile, out loud, often, more, every day, this photo makes me, love the way you. And then there's these little stamps as well. There's like a heart, a star, a smiley face, and this one here says ha ha. So these are great. I know I'll be using these often. And there's also matching dies. These are the layered laugh dies, and there's also a matching one for the smile stamps as well. So I'm going to be using a few of these. You can see I've already been having a little play with a few of them, so you can see which ones I'll be using, and I'm going to use those on this layout today, so I'll get into it and show you what I've got planned. Okay, so I'm starting off by getting my stamping done. So this first one is the outline laugh word. Next I've got the plain word going underneath that. I'm just doing this on some scrap white cardstock. Now I've got one of the solid phrases. It says life is better when you. So I had lots of ink on that to make sure I get a nice image. Next up is another solid phrase. It says out loud. Just popping that underneath there. And then I've got the word often. It's another solid stamp, so lots and lots of ink going onto that one. Next up I've got the little smiley face. It's in the stamp set. So I'm just grabbing a little tag from my stash, and I'm going to just stamp that smiley face on the tag. There we go. And finally I've got the scripty laugh word, so I'm just going to ink that up well and pop that underneath. So I'll give you a closer look at those. They've turned out pretty well. So now I'm just going to roughly cut out that scripty word, and I'm going to use the matching die to cut that out, so it'll give a lovely border. So I'm just positioning the die over the top of the stamped image, and I'm just grabbing a little bit of washi tape, and I'm going to make sure that that die doesn't move around, and take it over to my big shot. So that's now done. I can peel away that washi, and you can see it's now perfectly cut out. So that's now ready to use. I can go ahead and start building this page. So I've got some pattern paper that I've cut sort of to an upside down banner shape. That's going at the bottom of the page, and I've got another black and white strip that I'm just going to put across the very bottom. So I'll just trim off those edges that are hanging over the side. Okay, so before I do anything else, I'm going to add some stitching to that because it will be covered up somewhat with my other pieces. So you can see there just a little bit of stitching across the top and bottom there. And now I can play around with the positioning of all my pieces on this page. So I've got a little chipboard frame there that I want to layer underneath the photo. So I'm going to put foam tape on the back of the photo so that it's raised up off the page a little bit and will sit nicely over the top of that chipboard frame. Another little piece down that bottom corner. Okay. So I want the photo roughly there, and now I'm just going to play around with the positioning of all of my stamped pieces. So I've got a couple at the bottom, the rest are going above the photo, and then I've got a couple of embellishments that I want to put at the very top of the page as well. So I'm just going to measure where the center of the page is, and you'll see why when I grab this sticker out of the pack. It's a little banner shaped sticker that I'm going to put at the very top there, so I wanted to make sure that it's centered because that will help me to position everything else on the page. So I've got a little die cut bow here. I've got some foam dots on the back of that one, so I'm ready to stick that down. So that's just going over the top, and now I can just make sure I'm happy with everything before I start sticking these other pieces down as well. So here I go, I'm going to start sticking these onto the page. I've just got double-sided tape on the back of each of these. So I've got that outline word there, another solid phrase underneath that. Now I'll just move down to the bottom. I wanted to stick these stamped pieces down first so that I can go ahead and add stitching without any of the bulk of the photo and frame and other embellishments in the middle of the page. So I was thinking about using foam dots on the back of the scripty word, but decided to go with double-sided tape because I want to stitch on that as well. So I'm just using my T-square ruler to make sure everything is fairly centered before I go ahead and use my sewing machine. So measuring down the center of the page as well. Okay, another little adjustment there. Alright, so now I'm going to grab my sewing machine and add stitching to those stamped pieces. Alright, so there's a closer look, lovely texture added to that. Alright, so now I'm ready to go ahead and add my photos and the rest of my embellishment. Okay, so I'm sticking that frame down. I just realized some of the backing had come away from the back of the frame, so I'm just going to add a little bit of liquid glue to that, just so it's stuck down nicely. Alright, so we're back in business, just making sure I'm happy with that positioning. Now I can add my photo as well. Now I did have foam tape going all the way up, but I want to add a paper clip to the side, so I'm just making a little gap in that foam tape so that I can do that. So you see now I just add that paper clip to the side, and now the foam tape isn't stopping it from going in. So the photo is now stuck down. I've got my little smiley face tag which I'm tucking into the side of that paper clip, and then I've got that really pretty chipboard flower that's going on the side there. I think that's a crepe paper flower. Alright, I'm going to add the date just down the side of the photo on the background there, so it's not covered up by the tag, but it's nice and subtle. And finally I'm just going to add a little foam dot to that tag so that it's not floating around all over the page, and then this page is done. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing how I've used these new Technique Tuesday stamps on this page. They were really fun to use, and as you can see, they will suit many different themes. So let me know if you've got any questions. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I'll leave a link to Technique Tuesday down the bottom, and I'll see you again soon with another project. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now.